Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. First time of anything, now we're going to the 1990s. We are going to 1991 with Massive Attack, Blue Lines. This is a very landmark album, this is. Sort of the early versions of trip-hop, really, you know. That sort of thing coming from Bristol at that point, like an underground scene, make it to the mainstream. Really interesting stuff. You know, down to its artwork, which I find quite striking and interesting. Some people think it might be a bit bland, really, but on the surface of this album, you really get some good, interesting, some brilliant stuff on here. You know, down to, you know, you get stuff like Unfinished Sympathy, brilliant vocal work as well. I forgot the name of the vocalist who does it, but really good stuff. I mean, it was sort of a hit as well as like a main thing. You know, you've got Safe from Harm, the opening track. Brilliant way to open an album, I would say. Brilliant opener track, really good stuff. Be thankful for what you got. Be thank you for what you got for. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce it. Another good one actually. An actual song, but it's actually like a remix. Very much all they use. Yeah, again, interesting stuff. Some stuff is like sampled from other songs, or they use songs for a basis, and then, you know, just put like a different spin on it, really. That's what they tend to do sometimes with stuff like this from Massive Attack. You know, I think in the early days are probably because you get stuff like, it's like what the KLF were doing at the time, you know. And obviously, Bill Drummond and Jimmy Corti did release a book, and they did. At that time, really. Just, you know, how to make a hit, like a #1 record or something. And I think that's what Bristol was sort of doing at that point, really, you know, doing like triple beats, but also adding samples of other songs as well, like adding a new refreshing take to it. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're familiar with that music scene, let me know and see you know, if I'm wrong about that or not, really. But this album in particular is just like, it really captured something it did. Obviously, this is there's a good documentary called Live Forever, which is a documentary about the Britpop era. And they mentioned one of the main members of Massive Attack was being interviewed in a car, and obviously at that point, he was, you know, people were sort of coming out of the Thatcher era, you know, the John Major era sort of came in, and obviously it was like a bit of a bland, barren land really at that point. And then you get you know, and then you get albums like Blue Lines come along, and really shit the status quo at that point. Really good, again, you know, bit of a game changer that was at that point. Definitely worth checking out. You know, there's probably a lot of good songs, you know, brilliant songs, like I mentioned beforehand. You know, you do get stuff like Five Man Army, Daydreaming as well, which was the very first single of the album. It's just something to really get into, to sink your teeth into. Massive Attack especially, because they have an interesting discography. I mean, one of my favourite songs of all time is Teardrop, of course, from the Mescaline album from 1998 that they've done. I mean, you know, they can really do, they can do some interesting hits as well, do some interesting gems as well, like album tracks, of course, like him for the Big Wheel, and you know, it's just like, you know, it's lightning and bottle eyes. It works nicely. Indeed. So the version I've got here is like a reissue. Of course, I don't have an original pressing. Duh, really. I just picked it up really because I thought this album's got like a good legacy, it does, and I thought might as well get this actually. And actually sort of blew my mind really when I was listening to it. It really literally blew my mind. How good it is, how different it is as well. You know, obviously from 1991, interesting stuff. You know, this might come out like in 1994 or 1995, like mid-90s or something. You know, it's a bit ahead of its time, it was at that point. You know, and yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Massive Attack, Blue Lines, 1991. Definitely worth checking out. Thank you guys for watching. See you for the next video.